pass the test, how to break through to your next season. Last week I was speaking with one of my best friends, Catherine, and in a moment of absolute frustration and fatigue and angst and annoyance, I asked her, I said, when do the strong people get to take a break? When do the strong people, the ones who, who's just the strong friend, when do those people, like me, like you, when do we get to take a break? And without missing a beat, she said, you don't get to break. You get to break through. And I've really been feasting on that for the last week. I don't get to take a break. You don't get to take a break. We've got to break through. And, it got me thinking about, what is it that I want a break from? What is it that I want a break from doing? And, in just the past week of thinking about it, many times what we want a break from, we feel that we're being tested. We feel that we're being challenged. There's an area of our life that's causing us frustration and fatigue and annoyance and angst and a host of other negative words. And we just want to have a moment, a moment to breathe, a reprieve. We just want to have some time. And before I even go on, I just want to say this. Many times it's frowned upon for a person to say that they want a break. I'm here telling you that I would like a break. I feel that I am being tested in so many areas of my life simultaneously, and I would love a break. But you know what? Here's the reality. The reality is strong people, inspired, motivated, smart people, sometimes they do want a break, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying that. You're human. I'm human. And sometimes it almost seems that we have to always put forth a strong facade. We always have to be in charge. We always have to be in control. We always have to be put together. We've got to be perfect. There's no hair that can be out of place. Everything has to be perfect. And that's just not reality. For so much of my life, I thought what people wanted from me was perfection. They wanted, everything to look and appear perfect. But you know what I realized? People don't respond to perfection. They respond to transparency. So I'm here telling you tonight that I do not have it all together. And I feel like I have something on every stove burner. There's something in the oven. The blender is going. The microwave is beeping. The juicer is alarming. I'm talking on the phone. The radio is on and the phone is ringing. That's how I feel right in this moment. That's my truth. I want a break. But you know what I realized? The break that I want. I'm being tested. I'm being challenged. You're being tested. You're being challenged. And in an educational setting, we understand tests. We understand that in order to go from one grade to another, you have to pass the test. You've got to take your exams. You've got to take what is called the regents, something like that. You've got to take those in order to get to the next grade. We understand it in terms of athletics, that in order for you to make the team, in order for you to make the cut, enter the draft, etc., you actually have to be tested. Your skills, your abilities, your competence, your talents, everything has to be tested. But when it comes to our personal life, I can tell you, and I'm sure I'm not alone, I hate being tested. I feel that I've been tested enough. Am I the only one, or have you also said I've been tested enough? I feel like I've been tested enough, that I've proven myself time and time again to be resilient and to be tenacious and to be strong. And I just want not one more thing. I don't want one more thing to deal with. I don't want it. I want a break. But as my best friend said, we don't get to break. We have to break through. So tonight we're talking about passing the test. There is something going on in your life right now. There's a challenge. There is an area that's frustrating, that's annoying, that's causing you to lose sleep, that's really it's really making you do those deep sighs. There's an area in your life that's frustrating, that's challenging. And I'm here to tell you tonight that that challenge and that frustration might actually be present to teach you something, might actually be present to try to tell you something in order for you to break through to your next level. Well, Natasha, I'd love to learn it another way. Trust me, so would I. I would have loved to learn the importance of self-care without going through so many of the struggles that I've had. But, I had to. I had to go through them. Now I know I value self-care a lot more. I'm able to speak from a real and authentic place when I speak to people, and I speak to you again. From the very beginning, I said with Provoking Thoughts, I wasn't going to share anything that I have not lived. And what I'm talking to you tonight is exactly what I am smack dab in the middle of. I'm being tested. And I've got to pass the test in order to break through to my next season. So what do we need to break through? What could these tests possibly be trying to tell us? Maybe the tests are trying to teach you how to manage thousands of dollars so you can break through to millions. Maybe your challenges are trying to teach you how to bite your tongue and to be patient and not to snap immediately because you're such a hothead. Maybe that's what it's trying to teach you, because where you're going, you need to have more self-control. Maybe it's to teach you how to be patient and to manage that in-between time, that middle time between where you are and where you want to be. That time is absolutely annoying. Ask me how I know. Because I feel like I'm right in the middle. I'm not where I was, and I'm not yet where I want to be. And this time in between is absolutely frustrating. I feel like I've been tested in every way possible. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, everyly. But truth be told, I have had so many opportunities, so many challenges come at me to be my authentic self, to be genuine, and to figure out exactly what I want, what I like, what I don't like, where I want to be, who am I, how do I deal and navigate with all of the parts of me and all of the moving parts in my world. That's what I've been dealing with. And your challenge might be just that. Your challenge might be the very thing that's going to irritate you into greatness. Some of you have been relaxed for far too long. You've been dealing with the same job for year after year after year, complaining about the same thing over and over. And here's the thing about complaining. We don't complain about something if there isn't something else that we prefer. Just by the very nature of a complaint, it means that there is something else you prefer. What is that thing? Does it even exist? If you're complaining about a job and you have an ideal position in mind, why haven't you gone after it? If you're complaining about your peace and your free time and wanting to take vacations and etc., if you're complaining about it, it means that you have something in mind that you prefer. So why aren't you going after it? That's something that I had to tell myself today. There is no plan B through Z. There's only plan A. Plan A. If plan A doesn't work, try plan A Ultra or plan A 2.0 or plan A new and improved or plan A under new management or in a new location. There's only plan A. And many times our frustrations and the challenges that we're feeling and we're dealing with are linked to some decisions that we're just not willing to make, that we are not willing to step into, that we don't want to take the time to flush out. Once again, your pain and your frustration is pointing you toward a place and an area in your life that requires your attention. So let's talk about tests. What exactly is a test? A test is a procedure intended to determine and to establish the quality, the performance, and the reliability of something, especially before it's taken to market, before it's given for widespread consumption. There are some areas of your life that before you go to that next level, before you have that breakthrough into your next season, you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to deal with your attitude. You're going to have to deal with your mouth. You're going to have to deal with your spending. You're going to have to deal with your drinking. You're going to have to deal with your insomnia. You're going to have to deal with the fact that you hate your life. You're going to have to deal with the fact that you have thoughts of checking out. You're going to have to deal with the people in your life that are not supportive. You're going to have to deal with it. There is no breakthrough with the same stuff. New level, it's not just about new level, new devil, but new level requires new responsibility, new accountability, and you can't take your old stuff into your new season. You just can't. And sometimes the tests that are coming our way is really things coming up to go out, things coming up for us to slough it off, things coming up for us to wash it away, things coming up that cannot go into our new season. And because of who we are right now, we're able to handle it. 5 years ago, if someone told you about your attitude, we would have seen you on the news. But you've evolved. And so the reason now you're constantly hearing about your attitude is because you're now in a place to deal with it before your next season. The reason that you're getting increasingly irritated about work is because you're now in a place where you're stable enough to deal with and to create a plan and a strategy on how to get up out of there. The reason why you are being faced with so much inner turmoil, emotions, mentally, etc., it's because you're now in a place where you can handle it and where you can deal with. I truly believe that things come up in our lives when we are ready to deal with it, when we can handle it. You know, I always used to say, if I knew that she was this way, I wouldn't have spoken to her years ago. Yeah, I would have. Because the me that I was then, I'm not that me now. And the me that I was then needed the things from her. And so now that I'm in a different season, she's in a different season, the company is changing, the world is changing, whatever. Now I'm in a different place where I'm able to make some decisions. We're talking about passing the test. All of the frustrating and challenging parts of our lives that's present, that seems to be lingering, that seems to just be in a holding pattern. I'm telling you, it's present because it's there to teach you something. All of my frustrating places, it's present to teach me something. And if we're listening, one of my favorite lines from training day is, you're in a privileged position to learn something, so keep your ears open and your mouth shut. And when we're in this in-between season in our lives, not where we were, not yet where we want to be, it's so important that we are paying attention to absolutely everything. We're paying attention to our emotions and our mood. We're paying attention to what we say. We're paying attention to how we respond. We're looking at everything strategically, and we're looking for the lessons. Trust me, they're all around you. I know that they're all around me. And for me, my prayer is for wisdom. Wisdom and courage and confidence and strategy. Because isn't that what we need? We need wisdom. Wisdom is not just knowledge, but the courage to apply the knowledge that we have. The frustrating areas of your life, it's not without a plan. See, me wanting to keep my hair in place. It's not without a plan. You're going to have a plan in order to execute and get to your breakthrough. This broadcast is the truth and the real. Every day is not wonderful. Every day is not rosy. Every day is not fantastic. Every day you don't feel like being around your kids. Every day you don't like your parents. Every day you may not want to be married. Every day you may not love your job, even when you're functioning squarely in your passion. Some days you're going to feel like giving up. Some days you're going to feel like checking out. Some days you're going to feel like just calling it quits. Tonight's broadcast is really the baby step into giving you some calm and some peace with your current season. That's what tonight is. Because I'm just not going to be one of those people telling you that every day is rosy, every day is going to taste like bubblegum and strawberry candy. That's not reality. And I would be doing a disservice to you as a coach, as a speaker, as an author, as a me. I would not be authentic to myself to tell you that every day is perfect. It's not. And this year has been one of my one of my most challenging. And today what I had to tell myself is that I'm built for it. You're built for this. You're built for everything that you're dealing with. You're built for every situation that's coming your way. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know you don't want it. I know you wish you can check out. I know you wish you can trade your hand and get another hand, kind of like in Uno. But that's not reality. You're going to have to play the hand that you're dealt. And how are you going to do that? The first thing is to understand that we're always in the midst of a divine moment. We're always in the midst of a magical period of time that can really turn on a dime with a decision. We have that choice. We have that opportunity. And what helps for me and what helped me today was really to understand why I'm being tested. Here's the thing. You don't get an exam at the end of a grade if the teacher, if the school isn't confident that you should have learned everything you need to move on. Where you are, where I am, we've outgrown it. We've outgrown it. It's time for us to move on. And that's why we're being tested. And I'm not just saying, with your job or marriage or what have you. I'm just saying in the headspace, the thought patterns that we had yesterday and last month and last year, it's over. It's time for us to move forward. And so the test is coming to examine what we know, to examine what we've learned. What have we learned in the first 4 months of this year? What have we learned in the first X number of years of our lives? What have we learned in the first 6 months of that job? What have we learned? And can we now apply it? Tests come because they and I hated this one today, but speaking my truth, tests come because they trigger your insecurities and they trigger your fears. That's why tests come. Tests come because they're going to dredge up everything that's in you that you can't take into your next season, that you must leave here. Remember Erykah Badu's song, Bag Lady? You can't go with those bags. You can't go with that stuff to your new job, to your new relationship, to your new, with your new book. You can't take that stuff. And so you're being tested right now, and it's going to trigger every insecurity, every fear, every low self-esteem-y thing that's inside of you. Your test right now is going to trigger all of those things. It's going to trigger you to grow. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that I'm being triggered right now in this season of my life. I hate it with my natural mind, just me being honest. But I recognize that all of those things that's being triggered in me are for the purposes of me to grow. The purposes for me to be better, for me to do more, to give more, for me to be better tomorrow than I was today, for me to respond differently tomorrow than I did today, for me to recognize things faster than I did today. That's why I'm being tested. That's why you're being tested. We're being tested to disrupt this is just how I am. This is how I've always been. Disruption. That's what tests do. That's what challenges do. Challenges disrupt your idea of this is who I am, this is how I've always been, this is the way I like it, this is how I want it. That's what tests do. When you've had health all of your life and then you have a diagnosis, that diagnosis disrupts your understanding of what happy is if your happy was only linked to being healthy. When you've always had money and you've never wanted for anything, when you experience financial hard times, those hard times is a test that come to disrupt, again, your understanding of what happiness is if happy was only linked to always having more than enough. Tests and challenges come to disrupt your understanding and your definition of what you ought to have and what you should have and what you should be doing. Tests and challenges, there's absolutely no way to avoid it. No way to avoid it, but I'll tell you what I wrote today in my journal. on how I am going to proceed with my tests. The first thing is we've got to pass the test, okay? We've got to pass the test that we're facing. The challenges, the frustrations right now that you have, that thing that just came to your mind, that thing, we're going to have to deal with it. But the first thing that you need to do, the first thing I need to do is we need to pause and we need to breathe. And I say that because there are some challenges that come your way that will knock the breath out of you. And challenge, hard, frustration, those are all relative terms. What's hard for me might be a walk in the park for you. But the first thing you need to do, if you feel like you have been on the hamster wheel and it's just been one struggle after another, one challenge after another, I beg you to pause and breathe. Literally and figuratively. When you breathe, naturally you're getting oxygen, and if you're not getting oxygen, you're going to pass out. You're going to be unconscious. At this time in your life, in my life, we can't afford to be unconscious. This isn't the juncture where we get to check out, where we get to be unconscious, where we just set it and forget it and operate on autopilot. We can't afford that. Because our next season is so close. We're so close to the breakthrough. All we have to do is pass this test. So pause and breathe. Catch your breath. Breathe. Take as long as you need. Yes, this is happening. Which brings me to step 2. You're going to have to face it. You're going to have to face it. One of my favorite quotes is, you're going to have to handle it with grace or it's going to stain your face. Sometimes we want to ignore our frustrations and challenges. We want to ignore them away. That's not going to work in this case. In order for us to get to that next season, we're going to have to face it. We're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to handle it. We're going to have to call it by name. We're going to have to call that frustration by name. What is it called? Is it called I don't have enough money? Is it called I hate my job? Is it called I am unhappy with my kids? I'm unhappy with my marriage? What is it called? Is it called that I am mad at God? Real place. Real place. This is provoking thoughts. That's a real place that people don't want to talk about. It's very, very possible to be mad at God. And you project it onto every person that comes into your path. But you're really like, God, why me? Why me? Why again? Like, can somebody else have a turn? Can someone else have a chance? You're going to have to face it and name the frustration, name the challenge, name the test. Face it. Until you face it, until you get clear about what it is you're really pissed off about, what's really annoying you, it's going to stay in your face. And the last one, here's the last thing that we're going to need to do. We're going to have to make a decision. We're going to have to make a decision that we're going to pass the test. Period. Pass the test. Period. Pass the test. Period. How long? Until. When do I stop? When you pass the test. When do I quit? You don't get to. When do I take a break? Not today. If we're going to break through to our next season, we're going to have to pass the test. We're going to have to pass this test, that test that you're thinking about, that frustration, that challenge, that annoyance, that lingering thing like a mosquito that keeps buzzing around and just won't go away. That thing that you've been sliding under the rug, pushing into the closet, ignoring, drinking away, sleeping away, eating away, shopping away. That thing. The thing that you've been busy doing everything but dealing with that thing, that's the thing that you're going to have to make a decision to pass. And unfortunately, I can't take the test for you. Jim Rohn has a quote that says, you can't pay someone to do your push-ups. I wish I could. I wish I could pay someone to work out for me, but that's not the way it works. You want to break through to your next season. I want to break through to my next season. I have in my mind's eye exactly what it looks like and how it's going to feel. And that is really what motivates me to push through this phase, this season, this time. That is what motivates me. We got to pass the test. We've got to pass the test. We don't get to check out. We don't get to. Your purpose is so huge. Everything that you're going through, yes, it's happening to you, but it's not for you. It's for every person that you're going to encounter. And that's something that I try to remind myself, that Natasha, everything you're going through, in a week, in a month, in a year, in 5 years, there's going to be someone that crosses your path and they're going to be in the exact same situation, and you're going to be able to encourage them. You're going to be able to walk them through. You're going to be able to show them and tell them exactly how you did it. Sometimes we think our tests and our frustrations are just about us. And many people wrongly make you feel that you did something to deserve all of what's coming your way. If I could leave you with anything, pass the test. Breathe, pause, inhale, exhale, take as much time as you need. Name it, name the test, name the frustration, name the challenge, and then decide once and for all that you're going to pass it. You're going to do whatever is necessary to pass this test. You're going to do whatever is necessary to come out on the other side in your new season with flying colors.